What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 180, and we start today's episode off with a game against Arsenal here in the Capital One Cup away at the Emirates Stadium. But before I go on, I just want to say I'm sorry there was only one video on both Thursday and Friday. I know I shouldn't have to apologise for that, but I'm going to do so anyway. Sorry there was only one video on Thursday and Friday. Had lots of stuff going on, been very sick. That's all I can say really, but there you go. Yeah, we take on Arsenal for the first game of today's episode here in the Capital One Cup. And to be honest, I'm not really too fussed about the Capital One Cup now we've returned to Millwall. You know, we've won it with them before. I don't really need to care about it too much. I've got bigger fish to fry. You know, the Premier League, getting into the top four, you know, challenging for the title, that's the main objective really. So I'm not really bothered about the Capital One Cup, but even so, I'd like to win it. And the first chance for our very changed side came in the 24th minute. John Fleck went through, but unfortunately Szczesny made the save, and from the corner it was crossed in by Mertens towards Michael and Gu, but unfortunately the big striker could only head the ball over the bar, and it was still 0-0. And we'd have to wait until the 45th minute for another chance here, as John Fleck gets on the ball and chips it over the top towards Michael and Gu, but unfortunately my first time volley was well saved by Szczesny, and it was still 0-0. So unfortunately no goals in the first half, but in the second half Arsenal set out there still really early. They wanted to get an early goal in the second half after a very disappointing first half by them, and as Ekdal chips the ball over the top here, like an idiot I chipped the ball over the top of my own goalkeeper McCarthy there. A terrible decision there. What I was trying to do was I rushed out triangle for McCarthy to get there, but as I was holding L1 it went over the top of the goalkeeper and into the back of the net, so that was really frustrating. That was just one of those times on FIFA where you know you've made a mistake but you can't do anything about it. You just got to let it happen, and unfortunately that's exactly what happened there. It's an own goal for Bartley, and it's Arsenal 1, Millwall 0. In the 56th minute though, a good chance for us to hit back. Michael and Gu gets played over the top here. Get round the man, play it through to Mertens, but unfortunately Szczesny makes the save, and it's still 1-0 as things stood. In the 60th minute here, it's a great challenge by Dongill on his man. He finds Michael and Gu finds Anderson. Great ball over the top towards Mertens, running clear, 1-1 with Szczesny. This time I don't mess up the finish, find the bottom corner, and it's Arsenal 1, Millwall 1. So back on level terms here, just past the hour mark. Thankfully for that, because the goal we conceded was completely my fault, a stupid piece of defending, so I was glad that I was able to make amends for the mistake here. But straight from kickoff, Lucina Traore goes through the middle here, goes down left hand side, rises to challenge of Lee Catamol, rolls off towards Oxlade-Chamberlain. Yox takes on Catamol himself. I intercept it, but I also give the ball away. Chamberlain keeps hold of it and shoots. McCarthy makes the save, but unfortunately Aaron Ramsey is at the far post to head it in, and straight from conceding, Arsenal go and score again. It's Arsenal 2, Millwall 1, and once again we are behind, so 2-1 here. In the 67th minute it could have got even worse. Ramsey gets on the ball, the second goal scorer. He finds Oxlade-Chamberlain, he crosses the ball in, Traore wins the header, but it's well saved by McCarthy, and it's still 2-1. We launched a throw out towards Michael and Gu, he flicks it on, Anderson gives it towards Mertens, who scored our goal. Nice little fake shot to get around Gibbs, but unfortunately he does get challenged and he does get injured as well, and there's a little bit of a knock for Mertens. Thankfully he could carry on, but still not nice to see him get an injury. But in the 84th minute it was still 2-1 to Arsenal. We were looking for that equalising goal. McCullough had a good chance here off the bench, but unfortunately Szczesny made the save, and it was still 2-1. And in injury time in the 90th minute, it looked as though we were going to be going out of the Capital One Cup, but as McCullough picks the ball up here, he gets around Kieran Gibbs with all his pace, swings it across, Michael and Gu wins the header, puts it past Szczesny, and it's Arsenal 2, Millwall 2. So in stoppage time in the 90th minute, we go ahead and get the goal that's going to take it to extra time, and it was Michael and Gu who won the header. So lovely crossing by McCullough there, who is out of contract in the summer. Great header by Ngu. And thankfully our travelling fans would be able to see another 30 minutes worth of football, because we would be going into extra time. So great header by Ngu, and as you can see here, it was also pretty much the last attack of the game, because as soon as Arsenal played the ball backwards, the referee blows for full time. So 2-2 the final score. Extra time would have to settle the score, and I didn't mind too much, because this is a very big change sides. You know, there was no first team players playing in this first 11, so I was very grateful to go to extra time really. And as you can see here as well, there was nothing in extra time at all. It was one of the worst extra times I've ever played. Nothing at all happened, which meant it would go down to penalties, and penalties would decide which team would be going through and which team would be going out. Well, it was Aaron Ramsey who would step up first for Arsenal against Alex McCarthy. He stutters before hitting the ball straight at McCarthy as he dives to his right and makes the save. So Arsenal missed a chance to go 1-0 up from the first penalty. Larson could then give us the early advantage, and he does so. Sends the goalkeeper Szczesny the wrong way, and it's 1-0 to Millwall after 2 penalties. De Jong would then step up to Arsenal. Really did need to score for Arsenal, but unfortunately he couldn't. McCarthy makes another great save. So two fantastic shots by McCarthy. We have a great chance to double our advantage here with Rodriguez. It's Rodriguez who takes it, and Chesney can't get a glove to it. It goes past him into the back of the net, and it's Arsenal 0-0 with 2. So a 2-goal cushion already here. Oxlade-Chamberlain really had to score this penalty for Arsenal. It could be curtains early on, but thankfully for them, he kept his nerve, sent McCarthy the wrong way, and it was 2-1. So Arsenal given a lifeline here back in the game. Todd Kane would then step up for us, and he would score just. Chesney dives the right way, but he can't keep it out. It was too powerful. So good penalty by Kane. Serge Gnabry would then step up for Arsenal. Could he score? Yes, he could. Sends McCarthy the wrong way. So Arsenal doing everything they could to keep themselves in this game. But as Michael Ngou stepped up here, he could win us the game with this penalty, and he did just that. He sends Chesney the wrong way, and Ngou sends us through to the next round of the Capital One Cup. So good penalty by Michael Ngou, sending Chesney the wrong way, and we are through to the next round. So as I said, I don't really care too much about this competition, but it's always nice to progress a little bit further, make yourself feel a bit more confident as the rounds go on, that you could have some silverware come the end of the tournament. So good to win it. I don't really care too much, but still good to win it. Got to look at the positives, and yeah, I was very, very pleased. But after that, we saw John Johansson said thank you for getting onto the pitch more often, which is okay, I guess. But Anderson, when we signed Anderson, he knew he was never going to be a first team player, you know, so I guess he's got to accept that. But we also had an international management role from Ecuador there, and we of course said no because we're not interested. And the following game was going to be against Everton here at Goodison Park. So we take on Everton, and in the league so far we've played 5 games, we've won 4 and drawn 1, so we got off to a very decent start as things stood. And of course the board do want us to challenge for the league title this year. They do want us to win it, and I don't know if that is going to be doable or not. I don't think it's impossible, you know. I don't think it's like, you know, an objective which is way too far-fetched, but I still think I think it's doable. But I think, you know, top 4 should be, I guess it's a bit like Liverpool this year, you know. I mean, yes, it's not impossible that they could have won a title, but even so, top 4 is, you know, you just got to be satisfied with that, you know. So anyway, we take on Everton here, away at Goodison Park. He never seems to do too well on the game for some reason, but the first chance to get the game would fall here in the 17th minute. Danny Ings finds McCobb, and I tried to be a bit skillful there, but I completely messed it up. It fell back to Danny Ings. Ings finds Carrasco, but his finesse shot was well saved by the Russian keeper Akinfeev, and it's still 0-0 as Everton cleared the ball away. We'd have to wait until the 45th minute for another chance here, and it was Everton who had a good chance. Ravel Morrison slides it through, and the number 10 holds the ball up here, plays it back towards Ravel Morrison. It's a great ball through the centre towards Paulinho, and the former Spurs man fluffed his lines and then only put the shot wide. So great chance for Everton to take the lead there, but it was still 0-0. And the 47th minute, Eden Nilsson gets on the ball for Everton, goes down the right hand side, keeps on going, crosses the ball in, and the header in the centre just goes wide of Liali's post. So still 0-0. A couple of very good chances for Everton though, yeah, but it was still scoreless. In the 75th minute, John Stones gets on the ball for Everton. He's trying to get out muscle by Gutierrez, but he keeps holding the ball. Paulinho plays the ball forward towards Delgado Villar, but Liali comes out, smothers his body, and keeps the score at 0-0, and that was how the game would finish. So quite an uneventful game, really, a real contrast. You know, the Arsenal game was action-packed, it ended up going all the way to penalties. This game was absolutely terrible, nothing really happened, but I guess we'll take the draw, because, you know, even though Everton don't do very well on career mode, they're still a decent side. They've still got some very decent players in there, and Goodison Park's not a very easy place to visit, so I'll take the 0-0 draw. And yeah, it's not a bad point really. We're still undefeated at the moment. We haven't lost a single game yet since returning to Millwall, so got to take those positives. And here is a look at the squad report as well. A reminder that squad reports are shown at the start of every single calendar month, so you can check out how the players are doing and what attributes they're improving in. I still am thinking about possibly selling one or two of these players in January. Hopefully, well, possibly Kyle Walker, maybe one of those other fullbacks as well who we don't really need, and possibly, I'm possibly thinking about Lee Catamore. I'm not entirely sure because he is into his 30s now, and maybe John Fleck as well, but we'll have to wait and see. The squad is looking very good though. There's some great young players in here, very talented young sort of side, and some of the players of course that we left Millwall with, players such as Kelvin and Triggsy, who have developed brilliantly behind the scenes. They're of course tied down to a first team position now, and they're all doing quite well, so don't really need to spend any money in January to be honest, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. But last thing you'll see us do is offer a new contract to Makola, and you can also check out the league table and see how we've done after the first, is it 6 games or 7 games? I think it might be 6 games actually, but as always guys, big thank you for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the video, please leave a like, so much appreciated. It really does help my channel out. Please excuse my voice if I sound quite ill, but thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you for the next episode very soon, and here is a preview of that next episode. And the first chance this game would fall in the 12th minute here as Forrest throw the ball and then Lansbury gets onto it. It's not dealt with by myself, and a 1-2 here between Lansbury and Davy. Lansbury comes forward, but unfortunately for him, his shot couldn't hit the target and it was still 0-0. So a good chance there for Forrest to take a shot lead, but thankfully they didn't. And from the corner here in the 20th minute, Gutierrez goes up for a header. It's cleared away only as far as Ermakovic strikes it on the edge of the area, but unfortunately it goes harmlessly over the bar from the half volley. So still 0-0. But in the 33rd minute, Junior Milani gets onto the ball, plays over the top towards the run of Kelvin,